Yes, indeed, man. You got your boy Big Game James and Boss Cowboy Sports in the building. Uh, my boy, say man, Eastside Harold, man. My boy come in the door talking that. He said, "Do I have to educate some people on sports tonight?" No, we good, Eastside. We
No,
good.
you have no education, Harold.
We good. Thank you, though. We
It's very
appreciate it.
lacking. It's very
Appreciate
lacking over there. Very lacking over there. I can only say Harold. I can't. Well, like I said, Harold. That's your
Yes, man.
name.
So, Big, what's up, baby? We got the OTAs out the way, the mini camp out the way.
Yep.
No, so Matt says, "Yo, what's up, Matt?"
What up, Matt?
Yeah, so we got the stuff out the way. Now the thing is, people think that it slows down. Maybe for them, don't slow down for us. It's a lot of football to discuss. A lot
Definitely.
of football to discuss. So what we gonna be doing until those guys pad up is we gonna be breaking down slowly, not fast, all the stuff that we anticipate could happen, things we want to happen. What else, Big? I mean, what's on your mind, my brother?
Well, I mean, go ahead and into camp. I just did the 53-man roster, early 53-man roster Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go check that out, y'all can check that out. Just some thoughts of me and my dude Billy the Kid. We did a little on the fly 53-man roster. I know it's 55, but we did 53. So that's really on my mind. Who's going to be here? Who's going to be here? That's really on my mind right now because it's a lot of questions. And I think on this defense, there might be some surprises that may be gone, surprises that may be here, but it's going to be hella competitive up in that camp. So yeah, that's what I'm really interested to see when we get to camp. And shout out to Harold for the $2 holla. It says defensive Queens, no defensive guru. FYI, I don't care. But thank you for the $2 holla
Yeah,
though.
yeah. I like what Matt just said. See, because these OTAs and training camp stuff, they made the gossip and rumors a little bit different. Check this out. What you think of this comment from Matt? He said,
Can't wait to see it, Kelvin.
Yeah, and Nashawn. Yeah, boss man and Nashawn on our receivers. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I think I don't know if it's a concern. I think it's every year since he's been here. Amari Cooper. I hope his foot gets better. They're talking about he has a lingering ankle issue, and McCarthy said he wants everybody healthy. And they said, it's not something to be super crazy worried about. But we've seen, Amari hasn't missed games, I don't think. But it's been something that's been hampered him since he's been in Dallas. So I hope he's fully ready because I want to see Cooper out there and, being able to work against, Joseph and Nahshon Wright. I want to see Coop out there with them. So get well, Coop, because I want you to put it against these rookies so they can get better.
No doubt. And, because them rookies will get better if he's out there.
They're going to get better. He's going to give it to them. They need to see that route running.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, if you even able to partially keep up with Cooper, are you ready for any game?
Yeah. And, CD year 2, Gallup contract year. That's going to be good. But I really want, hopefully, Cooper is in there. They've been through, they threw some Tony Pollard in there as some receiver reps because there's been a lot of injuries at the receiver position. I talked about it earlier today with Stargame, saying don't look anything into that like, Tony Pollard's going to be playing receiver now. No, I don't think it's going to be that unless people are unhealthy. And I think that's why they threw him in there because he did play some receiver at Memphis. He was, because they were talking about when he was coming out of college, when he went to the Senior Bowl, that his people was trying to push him at receiver more than running back. So he definitely has those receiver skills. I just think it's more of, let's see what other ways we can get our playmakers the ball because he may not get the carries like Ezekiel Elliott is. So that's another facet to get some Tony Pollard the ball.
Right. And then Les Bell came in and said Blake Jarwin. Add a little bit more to that. I want to see what your thought is on Blake Jarwin. Like, what's your thought? Like, what are you actually expecting from him? Because I don't know what you mean by just throwing out his name. But we can ride off that. for sure. But I don't want to guess
Well,
what you're saying.
right. Hopefully they saying that he's going to be ready for training camp. He should be good. So, but to me, Blake still has a lot to prove. I've been on the Blake Jarwin train A1 day one since he been on the Cowboys as an undrafted rookie free agent. But he was behind Witten. We saw flashes, obviously, with the Giants. We've seen the flashes, and then we were all ready for, hopefully the explosion last year, but the injury came. So we still need to see Blake what he can do. I believe he can do, really open up this offense. And I like the way Schultz bounced off of him, because Schultz is like the opposite of him, is more the a chain mover, more of a guy that's going to not get you the long yards, but has enough wiggle to get you plays and is going to be reliable for you, where Blake Jarwin is going to be the guy that'll stretch the field. So, opinion, boss, he still got to prove. He just got a new contract. He hasn't, he got hurt, so he's got to show up to this contract.
Yeah, Blake and Jarwin's game are so different, Okay. Yeah, so Lance said he just wanted our thoughts. So he just threw out the name. He wanted the thoughts. So you already started that. I kind of grabbed this baton from you on that.
All right.
Well, when you talking about Jarwin, you talking about a different type of tight end than Schultz. Schultz is your traditional, reliable tight end, and I
Whitnish.
like exactly Whitnish, and I like exactly where he is. If he's plateaued, I'm still good because he was very reliable. He caught everything, and then what impressed me was his yards after contact. That's what actually sneakily impressed me about him, bro, is my boy got some swag now, and
he's got a little bit of wiggle to him, and we was talking about that today.
Mary.
With that how he's got some wiggle when you look at him,
right?
Blake, not Blake, but Dalton Schultz, like the guy will be right there to tackle him, and you're like, oh yeah, Schultz ain't going nowhere, and he'll do a quick little wiggle and get that extra 2, 3, 4, 5 yards. I'm like, okay, Schultz.
Okay.
And just like you said, I don't think he's going to get any. I think, in my opinion, he's plateaued as far as the ability, but I think he could be a steady pass catcher for you. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he has plateaued. He's not going to be all of a sudden Dalton Schultz is going to be this guy. I don't think so. But what if we can see what he did last year, every year that he's with the Cowboys, that's not a bad thing.
Not at all. So no, I like our tight end position. The difference is between Blake and Schultz is Blake stretches the field, so you get more of a vertical threat, but both of them are good. I think you still should start off with Blake because Blake is more dangerous. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Schultz don't scare anybody, but Blake does. Like, Blake can really open up a game on you. Like, if you think, don't worry about that white guy over there, he's nothing. That guy will open up on you. You bet not come in there thinking he's weak. And I learned a very powerful lesson with both of those tight ends. Being all the way honest, I was down on both of them when they first came in. Super down. I couldn't stand Schultz at all for about 3 years.
Schultz. Yeah, I agree with you on that Schultz thing. I ain't gonna say I hated on him like that, because this first year I was hopeful because you knew the tight ends that the Cowboys drafted. So when I saw him at Stanford, I'm like, okay, I can see why I see this is who the Cowboys draft. So I was trying to be hopeful for him. And then we didn't really get to see anything. And last year was when I was frustrated, or was when the year, I'm thinking it was maybe the year before that, he had like 3 catches. And it's like, okay, why'd you draft him? And then last year, it was almost like when Blake went down, it was like, oh Lord, he got Dalton Schultz. And then I think after he got hurt, Blake did. Schultz dropped a couple passes, and in that Seattle game, and I was like, see, man, this dude. But you know what? He buckled it up. He strapped it up. He got it tighter. And you know what? I was like, okay, Schultz, you know what? You ain't going to be nobody great. But daggone it, you did your thing. You showed some blocking. You showed some wiggle. You showed you could, get those critical first downs and move the chains. You showed you to be a steady person. Now, Blake Jarwin, boss, I had hopes for him when he came into camp because I got to see him. So I was like, yes, this dude can be good because he had that gazelle. He's not a 4'5", 4'6" tight end, but he's got that. He's just like he's a long strider. Like when he gets the ball, he gets up on you, and we've seen he can stretch the seams of that field. So I was always hopeful he could do something. So now it's his time. Like to get healthy and get out there because we've been waiting to see. Come on, Blake Jarwin, for real. Because we've always been used to Jaden Williams
last year, bro. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Man, I was expecting a big year from him last year, bro. I put
Blake?
Oh man, I
thought he was gonna turn up
close to 1,000.
I thought he was gonna turn
big.
up because we saw the good flashes and the rapport that he had with Dak.
Man.
So it was like, man, but it hurt my soul when I saw him get hurt in that damn Rams game. Like it hurt my soul. Like when I saw him just laying there, because I was watching the play, and when I seen him make the cut and I seen him just laying there and nobody touched him, you already know, boss. That my first thought was, damn, he out for the year.
Yeah.
Because when you got them non-contact injuries and they holding that ankle, that's Achilles.
But I tell you, Blake, and see, Marvin, the ex-head coach, because, he come in here with that real X's and O's football talk. So, he gonna always humble you, man. You gonna be talking about the catching and the receiving, and he gonna come in and say, blocking, boss, blocking big.
Right.
He right, though. We was talking actually on the phone the other day, about 2 weeks ago, and he was telling me a lot of people sleep on the tight ends because if they can't block, then they squeeze down that hole so easy, and it makes it super hard to run on the strong side. Marvin talk good football, man.
Yes, he does. I didn't mean to cut you off, boss. I just want to answer this question right quick if I could. It's actually on my channel. It's from Joe Taylor. It says, I want to know why Schultz can't be a top tight end in the NFL. This is his first year getting real snaps, and he had Dalton pass him the ball. That's a very good statement. That's a very good statement. But this is why I'm gonna say he won't be a top tight end in my opinion. Number one, because he's in Dallas. They're not gonna allow that because Blake Jarwin. So I don't think he's gonna be a top tight end because Blake Jarwin's there. Number one, and I don't think he can unseat Blake Jarwin. That's why he can't be a top tight end. Because if you look at his abilities, yes, Dalton was throwing the ball, and even if Dak was throwing the ball early and he was getting the ball, but he just doesn't have the athletic ability. I think he's an okay blocker, pretty good hands, but to be a top tight end, you're talking about the guys, the Kelce's and the Kittles and those types. You think a Dalton Schultz is that? I don't see that at all.
Not at all. But I don't want to say can or can't right now. I got to kind of punt. I never punt, but I'm going to say we'll see, right? Because his confidence is growing. And it's something about when you grow in confidence, it can really elevate your game, So, and I see him making plays. I see the flash. He would have to turn up a lot more, though, just to be honest, for what you are envisioning. Like you're trying to envision a turn up Schultz. I just see reliable Schultz. I don't see turn up Schultz.
Right, because I mean, all right, just looking at the tight ends, Travis Kelce, Richard Rodgers, Darren Waller, Kittles. These are just some PFF guys. TJ Hawkinson, Mark Andrews. Guess I'm not saying that he's like not bad around them. Stat wise, you can get stats, but like I said, Blake Jarwin's there. I don't think he elevates over Blake Jarwin, in my opinion. I think they're gonna feature Blake Jarwin, and they're not gonna feature a Schultz. I think they're gonna think that's what they like. But let me not say he can't be a top tight end in the NFL because you can probably do anything. But just my opinion, I don't think Dalton Schultz is.
No, I don't think
I
so,
don't
but
think
we'll see.
if he
Super
goes to
pumped.
another team, I don't think Dalton Schultz will be a top tight end if he went anywhere else either.
I
Just my
heard
opinion.
I heard came in here and he said he's from Des Brown High School in Lufkin. Welcome, brother. Make sure you like and subscribe both channels, Boss Cowboy Sports as well as Civil and Blue Nation. Hey, even if you're not a Dallas Cowboy fan, I listen to my enemies. I do. so
Yeah.
if you want a place to learn about the Cowboys, even if you don't like them, this is the place. Boss Cowboy Sports and Silver and Blue Nation, trust me, we go keep it all the way funky. Trust me. I like what Daywalker just said. I want to get your thoughts on that. He said, I think we can still go 12 personnel to close our games and destroy people. Absolutely.
Yeah, we definitely need to.
Hell yeah. And that's what make, okay, that's what, in my opinion, Big, I want to get your thoughts on this as well. That's what make 2020 a sneaky blessing, right? Very sneaky. Because, yes, when Dak went down, the offense was stinky, right? We know that. The defense took a little while to start getting any kind of momentum. We know that. Mm-hmm. But if we look at the positives of what happened, where guys that usually didn't have confidence got a bunch of reps that developed confidence and depth and experience. Schultz is one of those guys, which makes the 12, to your point, Day Walker, perfect on closing out. Zeke was called out all last year, right, for the fumbles, for people saying he missed a step. Everybody is saying, including his quarterback, just came out recently and talked about how he can see the agility, the speed, and all of that, which worked to our benefit. Even when Ty went down at practice, I wasn't concerned with the swing tackle. Why? Because Knight got so much reps last year, right? And still, right? And we drafted Bell. It's so much that's actually a real blessing from a bad year. Just being all the way honest, mostly the experience of these guys, man. So that makes your 12 vision even better, because Zeke is going to be better and Schultz is going to be better and have the confidence to close our game. If Jarwin would have been there, maybe Schultz would have just been thinking, I have to earn this confidence and develop this confidence. He got the confidence now.
Yeah, that was good for Dalton Schultz, because now you finally found out what they had in him, because he had like under 10 receptions, maybe like in his career at that time. I don't know, don't quote me on that, but they didn't have a high amount of receptions in his career before that time. So like you said, it was a blessing in disguise for him, because Dallas was able to see. Now you feel a lot better when you're going into the season, because remember, they were talking about tight end. But with Dalton Schultz stepping up, that's why I feel like they weren't going nutty with the Kyle Pitts thing for real too, because they were seeing that we do have tight ends that can play ball, so we don't make it, it's not a need. Whereas if maybe Dalton Schultz didn't show anything, now Dallas did look like, yeah, we may need to go get a tight end here because we're real short. So by him stepping up, yeah, I feel like it pushed the Cowboys saying, well, yeah, we don't need a tight end right now. We're good.
Right. Exactly. And I'm actually happy. I'm happy I'm glad Pitts didn't fall.
I'm glad he didn't fall either. I'm glad they didn't go that route. I'm so glad they didn't go that route. I'm glad they went. I'm glad the draft happened the way it did as far as that aspect, and they didn't go and get infatuated with that pick. And you got a Micah Parsons who I'm absolutely loving. I can't wait for some Micah Parsons, dog.
Yeah, absolutely. Wendell also, everybody talking about those tight ends. I guess tight ends on everybody's mind. And we keep up with you. Well, go ahead. You got to.
Let me ask you this. I'm my guy right here. I want to ask you this. Is Dreshaun Wimberly? He's talking about that fullback. He said the dude is fast, can pull trucks. I watched some videos. Dude can open holes. What's his Ralston? Do you think he was saying something about keeping him at fullback will he be kept because that was that dude that was pulling trucks and stuff, and the Cowboys got him on the roster. But nah, I don't think so because I think the Cowboys ain't really touching that fullback position. I think they're gonna go 3 at running back, in my opinion. Pollard, Zeke, and the one kid. What's his name?
Rico
Dowdell. Yep.
Yeah. And Rico's, he showed something with that kickoff return last year. You know what I mean? I like guys that get in there and turn up when they get the opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
And he's good on special teams. Yeah, he's good on special teams.
Yeah, what's up, E-Kush? She came in and said it was good evening. What's up, man? So,
what's good?
A couple of things. I mean, and I tell you, as you can see, y'all leading the show right now. I mean, we letting y'all kind of fire it out there. But we got some stuff we also want to talk about as well. But if y'all firing out good stuff like y'all continue to fire out, we're going to, continue to freestyle and kind of answer questions and talk about different training camp opportunities. Go ahead, Big. I can tell you got something. What you got?
Oh, this is my guy, and I just wanted to talk about this player right quick. 43 flex. Talking about Randy Gregory, dog. That's another person I'm very excited for. If I'm excited for anybody on this team, he's the one I'm excited.
Hey, man, I accidentally cut you out. My fault. Give me a second, Big, to bring you back. Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
Am I back in?
Yeah, you back.
I was just saying that Randy Gregory, I'm just really excited to see what he's going to do. A full off season. He said it. It's a full off season. We have been talking about this will be the first time in a long time he's had a full off season. He mentally doesn't have to worry about the stuff on the side. Just in these highlights you're seeing right there, oh my God, he looks so good. Just dropping in coverage. He looks strong. He looks smooth. Didn't he look smooth, dog? He
did back there like that boy been working, boy.
He looked like he been doing that, didn't it? Didn't it look like that's what he do? That looked like that's what he do. That right there.
That looked like Nebraska,
that's what he do.
Gregory, but bigger.
Dog, that you feel me? And he's bigger, he's stronger, and just show it again. Look at that. Drop, turn. Look at them hips. Run back. Ooh,
yes,
yeah, indeed. Dog. That look a natural roll. Randy Gregory is going to turn the hell up. I said, remember we did I put on my Twitter over and under 10 sacks. I'm going to over. Let's get it. That's a guy. Because he always had the ability. We ain't never doubted the ability. And now the pass rush moves are going with it. He's bigger and he can set that edge. Randy Gregory is going to have a very good year. And let's go ahead and Dallas sign him up. Re-sign him now. Go ahead and sign him to a contract. Get him on a contract now.
And see, Randy Gregory. Yeah, buy the stock. Buy the stock.
Buy all that. Buy all that goodness.
It's a contract year. Remember, he was turning up when thrown in there without really working with the team. So he only really had a regimen now.
Mm-hmm.
Before then, it was all about his self-discipline that was able to get him to be even decent. Now, and he talked about stuff in his press conference that was epic. Like the fact that he's already at the weight he wants to be. And because he's working with the guys, he's not on his own to where he can get into the demons can talk to him.
Yes.
And he lose the discipline to keep on the weight. Because you know this, Big. I mean, Big still in shape, bro. I'm amazed at my boy Big genetics, bro. It must be you get it from your mom.
Fit.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it from my mom, my daddy, whatever. Something.
My boy genetics is nice, but when you got genetics like Big to where you slim, I was watching Big play basketball with his son. My boy still got a nice six-pack, man. You know what I'm saying? He took off his shirt. He got him a fake bow leg. He really knock-kneed. But
yeah, don't hate on them bow legs, dog. Don't hate on them bow legs. Don't hate on them. Don't you hate on them bow legs, dog. Don't you hate on them bow legs. Pigeon-toe bow legs. Don't you hate on them. Them is the best athletes, though, dog. You know that.
When you see a bow-legged pigeon-toe,
dog, they bounce fast and bouncy.
Facts. Facts. Now, but when you have genetics like that, it's hard to put on weight, bruh. It's hard.
Is.
Like, I know just by looking at people like you and Gregory, y'all gotta work to put on weight.
Like it's gotta be it's gotta be a concerted effort. Like it's gotta be when I wake up, I gotta eat this at this time, eat this at this time. That's what it has to be with me, because I have those, like you said, and I ain't bragging, it's just I have those athletic genes where I'm always going to be able to be in the mood, because my sons, they're the same way, especially my youngest. If you see him built just like me, he's just a taller version of it,
right?
And he's just athletic, like you could tell. And I'm like, you know what, you're later on, you're still going to be like that even when you get older, because that's, if you look at my family, you see my little cousin turning up over there. He just visited Texas. Yeah, he just visited Texas. He just visited Texas yesterday. Yeah, dog. So we got some athletes up in there.
Rooting for him, bro. Big corner like that.
Dog.
Man, coach him up,
man.
Get him right. Well,
Hey, he's gonna. I'm interviewing him next week too, just so y'all know. Selfish plug.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Whenever you can plug him and help him get looks, do it. And actually, it works. I actually did that for a quarterback. And sometimes they just stand out so much. A high school quarterback, I posted him on Boss Cowboy Sports page. He ended up on local news. Mm-hmm. They did the exact same bit I did. My boy BJ say, "Sup, everybody." Yeah, what's up, BJ? Me and BJ having us a nice old debate tomorrow. Y'all
love the debate.
Oh, hell yeah. And it be real. It's not fake. Everything look, BJ.
Standing on, huh? 10 toes standing on.
Like, we was talking the other day and I wrote it down. Like, he was like, I don't agree with you on this Kool-Aid, on Quinn. I'm going to debate you again on Pitts. And then he said, I don't agree with your Cox. I said, we're not going to talk about it now. We're going to talk about it live. Straight up. Okay. And we're doing it tomorrow. Like,
yeah, I feel you. Well, yeah, you drank the big picture of Kool-Aid for Dan Quinn. You dropped a video. His video even said I had the Kool-Aid drinker on today too. So it's a lot of Kool-Aid drinkers out there right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I ain't going to drink some of that Kool-Aid until I get to camp. I'm sipping on it. You know, I made a big old glass, but I'm just sipping right now. But when I get to camp and actually see some fire and actually get up close and actually look at it with my eyes, then I'll tell you if I'm drinking some Kool-Aid.
Hey, no, I feel you. I mean, the Kool-Aid that I drunk was Scheme, you know.
And that's legit. And that was a great video, by the way. I just want to tell you that.
Bro. Shouts out, man. That video, I knew it was my best, bro. When I did the show. Now, the numbers didn't say that, but I knew
it ain't about the numbers, though.
Yeah.
The football people. Come on, dog. The football people was the ones. The football people were like, yo, this is what you really want to see. You feel me?
Yeah. Oh, I cut you off, Big. My bad. Let me just do this real quick. Bluff co-signed it. I'll get you back in here, man. Skywalker co-signed it publicly. You know, Cowboys fan talk. Jay Tuck. Then I heard you do it with Mary today. I didn't mean to cut you out, bro. There's something going on with that audio, man.
Are we good?
Yeah, you back. It's certain.
All right. What up, Yuma Cactus?
So
sorry.
No, he's good. But it's one thing, you know, shout out to Matt Owens, Professor O, because he really did like point me in that direction. Like, you know, he sent me some DMs about the scheme, and I was like, you know, and I researched it, and then I started seeing how Dan Quinn was perfectly matching his players to the design of that defense. So, and I think it just answered a lot of questions that a lot of people had, and it registered to the football people. So I would definitely tell people, this is not about just pushing numbers, but this is also about just having good content. This is the show. It's still on my page. It's Dan Quinn building the super pass rush defense. That's the name of it, and that's where I go through it heavily. So y'all make sure y'all go check that out if you haven't already, and then share it, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did drink the Kool-Aid, and I still got some concerns though, bro. Like, you know, I praised him for his scheme, but you know, the Anthony Brown starting right now on the outside. Anthony Brown start. Thank you. Brian said, turn my mic up. I'll just speak in it better.
There, yeah, you sound good now.
Yeah, but Anthony Brown starting on the outside, that bothered me, right? That's not common sense to me. That's not common sense to me at all, right? Because all of us know Brown was at his best at the nickel. And like you said, I think it was you that said it, man. Quit playing. Put Jordan Lewis on the outside. Stop playing. Like
Jordan Lewis needs to be on the outside, man. He's an outside corner. I don't know why they keep trying to put him in the slot. He gets worked in the slot, dog. Put him on the outside. That's what he is. Go back to the 2016 tape his rookie year. Where was he more effective?
Right, BJ. I ain't backpedaling nothing. Nothing
What
at all. He talking about the Kool-Aid. He ready, man. BJ ready to fight. Hey, we gonna fight, bro. We gonna fight. But hey, I'm like you though. When I debate, I'm a realist. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna come into with that drunk stuff, man. Yeah.
Nah.
And see, BJ coming in with the same thought. See, when all the football heads saying the same thing, that's where I gotta take a mark off.
But you know what? But you know, in my opinion too, when I listen to Dan Quinn in his interviews and when he's talking, I see Dan Quinn just like when you're talking about how the scheme and how it's going to match with the players. But I also think, in my opinion too, boss, that he's really looking at each individual player, really taking them to the side, each individual player taking them to the side and say, what do you do good? What is your one thing that you really do good? And once we find that thing that you do really good, we're going to put it on the field and make it go. Whether it's just strictly pass rushing, whether it's setting the edge on, run downs, we're going to figure out what you do good, and then we're going to try to bring it out of you. And I think he's going to each individual type defensive player on the team and showing that. And I think that's what, to me, that's the exciting part to me, is that, you know, he's going to really tap into each person on the team and say, okay, you do this good, let's get you in there. Because let's not relegate it to just the players that they have and say, well, he's just doing this. No, find everybody. Like when I heard Terrell Basham, when I keep going back to this interview, I'm sorry.
No, you good.
But, you know, he told him in the interview, he was like, you know, one of the things I really like about Dan Quinn, he taught me things I didn't know about myself. I thought I was coming out of my stance good. He showed me through tape and video when we worked out and we talked. He was showing me how my get off is not good. He says my stance needs to be better when I'm coming off the edge. And he said I never knew that. And he said those little things like that. He's a real teacher, and I think that's what the Cowboys really needed. They needed somebody really hands-on. Cowboys need those type of coaches, those hands-on coaches, those in-your-face type coaches, the ones that don't let you slack because the privilege starts happening. So that's why I'm excited about Dan Quinn. That's the main thing why I'm excited about Dan Quinn, because I feel like if you can, boss, if you really unite as a team, sometimes you play better than maybe you are too.
Right.
Because you're united, you're one mind.
Yes.
And what's one of the biggest problems, boss, that Dallas has been having? Miscommunication on defense.
Right.
People not knowing where they're going. Where they were having the problems last year, misdirection plays. They didn't know this, they didn't know that. We've been seeing too many blown calls in the secondary, miscommunication calls on the back end, on the line. If you can get that together and they can be on one mind, on one chord, then that's when I feel real good about the defense, dog.
Yeah, man. Like, you know, BJ, I love it when certain people come in the building because they bring that sauce, bro. He said Quinn is choosing to put the players in a position to win. Gotta love that. Haven't really had that here in a long time. That's why I drunk the Kool-Aid, bro. Because honestly, that's why. Because I haven't seen it in a long time. You know, we saw stuff like Thompson over Ha-Ha. You know what I mean? We saw stuff like Tank dropping in the coverage. And, you know, we seen stuff like
Everson Griffin dropping in coverage.
Right.
What else did we see that was crazy? Done.
Yeah, we saw Everson Griffin playing in an interior.
We saw some things we hadn't seen in a long time. We were like, really? It's crazy.
And
like
then they
when
put
you really
the most fragile linebacker at the mic, like stuff like that. Like,
yeah, and it just felt like everything was it just feels totally different this year, doesn't it? To you, it just feels totally different.
And the seeing it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, yeah, you're seeing it, but I know COVID has something to do with it. But you know what? Also listen to Mike McCarthy too, boss, when he said we are heads and shoulder better with our virtual meeting, our virtual. He said they dropped the ball virtually last year. And that, I think that had a big reason why it was bad too. He admitted in his interview, he said we dropped the ball virtually, like we messed up. And think about it. If he's saying they dropped the ball virtually, right? How was the majority of they getting their schemes of having to study virtually or having the meetings virtually or a training camp? It was a lot of virtual. And he said they dropped the ball. So that just threw a whole sheen ding and made it a downhill thing in the very beginning. And now he's saying we are 10 times better than we were last year. We're super prepared. He said he was proud of the staff for being on top of being on the virtual part of the meetings. He's saying it's 10 times better. And that's helping because that's communication, because we were hearing things like people weren't studying, people weren't doing this and that. And now we're not getting that. And that's good for the team as well. Those little things, like, to me, boss, I know we talk about on the field, but those little things start the process for the on-field greatness when you're doing those little things off the field like that.
Right on, bro. And see, you lead me down something. Let me answer a question that Sadiq was asked. She asked, what is nickel? Nickel is the third cornerback. And you call for the nickel when the offense comes out with 3 receivers. And the way that you counter that to make sure you don't have what's called athletes on stiffs is to call for the matchup that can counter 3 receivers. So you take off generally the wheel linebacker, substitutes him for a corner, and that's the nickelback. Okay. So we'll do diagrams on that and stuff like that. We go break all that kind of stuff down because we go do a show on packages, because a lot of people don't understand packages. But after you see that show we're going to do on packages, you go fully understand all the packages. And you going to know it when you see it on the field. Like following Big Game James, following Boss Cowboys Sports, I'm telling you, you go really enjoy the season because you go see it different. You go see it. And we gonna come back to what we was talking about because I love what we was talking about it. But it's at some point you want to kind of start seeing the game a little bit like chess, right? Mm-hmm. You want to, because when you start seeing the game like chess, then you can really put the proper blame on the proper person. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because when you, like, BJ talked about Armstrong dropping in the coverage, like, because he looking at it like chess. It's like that, no, right? Like, you don't use that chess piece like that, right? And so the more you follow these type shows, we gonna answer those questions, and then you'll be able to see the game a little bit better, and then answer a lot of questions. But yeah, man, the spirit is different. Now I'm finna throw you a curveball, James. I hope you're ready, bro. I'm serious. I'm finna throw you real nice ass curveball. You know what I've been thinking this offseason, bro? Don't laugh. You know I say stuff that sometimes take a little while to digest, so I'm giving you a disclaimer. Don't laugh when I say this. All right? All right, cool. I just want to make sure. Now listen, bro. You know how everybody say Jerry and Steven 2 hands on? Mm-hmm. These last 2 or 3 years showed me they actually very hands off, almost 2 hands off. And I mean that, like, because it's no coincidence we keep hearing about energy. The energy is different. It's the everybody's around here together more. That's really a low-key shot at Mike Nolan. And Jerry
ain't no low-key shot.
That
ain't no low-key. That's a big shot. That ain't no low-key shot. Everybody done saying it.
Yeah, that's hockey.
Yeah, that's not low-key.
And so it's one of those things, like, check this out. All right, listen to this. Yeah, I do got it. Watch this. Watch this, Big. Watch this.
Was it encouraging to you to have some of the success that you had last season, despite not having the sprain, despite missing the first several games, to show that you can produce at a high level despite having missed all that?
Well, I've always been confident in myself. I've always felt like I could, compete at a high level. I think last year was more about getting me out there in the right spot and actually giving me an opportunity to show what I could do on the field. And, honestly, at times I felt like I didn't get that chance. I think it was pretty obvious. Honestly, at times I felt like I didn't get that chance. I think it was pretty obvious. But I have a lot of faith in the staff right now. I have a lot of faith in my play.
You got a lot of faith in the staff right now. Oh boy, check this out.
What did they tell you last year when you? What did they tell you last year when you asked them, why am I not playing more? Or how do I get more snaps? Were they just trying to protect you because you've not played that much in such a long time? What did they tell you?
It was a lot of factors. It was a lot of factors. I wouldn't necessarily say it was anything with me in particular, but I will say there was a lot of factors that played into it. Obviously, like I said, I wasn't happy with the amount of playing time I had. Were there conversations about that? Of course. I think that's more internal between me and them. But yeah, I mean, it's obvious that I wanted to be out there, and there were conversations that were had, and it's in the past. And like I said, I have a lot of faith in the staff we have right now.
And he said it again. I'm done. Like, listen, bro, it was some drama, bro. And see, my boy BJ, he said, agreed, boss. Like, Jerry and Steven have been too hands off.
I don't think they've been too hands off. I think it's been just right.
Okay.
I think it's been just right. How's it two hands off? We wanted them to back off a little bit.
I can tell you.
Okay, go ahead and tell me.
Well, like, for instance, and this is why I said the last 3 years, not the whole duration of them managing. But, like, remember all those receivers had to come out talking about play calling. They did nothing until the end of the season. And that's when James Slater came out, right, and was like, when Jerry and Steven finally went and talked to the players, they was telling them that Scott Linehan, if he didn't like you, you played less. Well, those of us who was watching was not saying it. We was like, bruh, like, why did you get Bryce Butler to give him 2 snaps when that receiver by committee was stinking and him and Dak had chemistry and you didn't let him out there? Obviously, people had concerns about Rico because that didn't make sense either, for somebody to be a pass catcher and you putting him in on 4th down and key running plays but saying he can't block. It looked petty and political. And Jerry and them waited to the end to do something. And they didn't do anything about receivers by committee until week 8. You know what I mean? That's hands off. And then they let Mike Nolan have us as the worst defense in our franchise history. Came out December 12th. The season is over. And then
but here's the thing. Okay, but you say that, but look at all the changes they were doing during the season if they weren't hands off. They got rid of Everson Griffin and traded him and flipped that and got a pick. They got rid of the Darryl Worley. They got rid of the Don Terry Pose. They were hands on, in my opinion, with that, because we've seen them ride that stuff. You're talking about riding it. They could have rode that. They could have rode that disaster and what was flowing with that, and it wasn't good. And they jumped in there and made those cuts. We haven't seen Dallas do that like that.
Right.
They did it with maybe when they had Nolan Carroll. Remember 2016, they got rid of Nolan Carroll and the other cat that played on the line from the Eagles, but not no mid-season when they were like, okay, this thing ain't working out. Let's jump in there and end it. And that's how we saw Gallimore. So I don't think they're hands off. I think they're doing it just right now. That's why I'm kind of like, okay, I'm kind of liking this, because let's look at it this way. They brought Dan Quinn in, right? Mm-hmm. And they had Mike Nolan, okay? They're not meddling with that. They're not jumping in there. They're giving you what you want. They're letting Dan Quinn, hey, go ahead and do this. We're giving you the opportunity to do this, and we're trying to give you all the pieces. We're recognizing we did do it wrong with Randy Gregory, but guess what? We got a guy in here who's going to do it right with Randy Gregory, and maybe they did wait, but that whole season was a disaster when Dak went down.
Yeah. You respect that, did you? You respect that. Yeah, I do think it's just right, though. I'm not finna debate you on that shit. No. I do think. See, because I think it's good management, bro.
That was perfect, bro.
Yeah.
You got me on that.
I had to marinate, just kind of digest what you said, bro. Just had to
I was saying, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, damn, was it
thought I was going to disagree with you?
Yeah. I know, I didn't know what was doing here. I thought you was like, okay, whatever, dog.
I was just waiting on you to get that good old ass thought out so I can hand clap that, what you just said.
Yeah, man.
But I think it's good management.
It's that just right porridge.
I think it is just right because you want to give the people that you put in power the ability to ride their plan out. You know what I mean? And they do that. And they, but
think about this too, boss.
And control freak stuff, we kind of gotta pull.
That ain't never going nowhere. That ain't never going nowhere.
Control freak rumors. I'm saying because I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing kind of just right porridge a little bit to where
just right porridge.
Yeah, and see, because a lot of people when they listen to the media or they listen to friends, people love to shoot slugs at Jerry and Steven, but they don't give them enough credit for good management. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of it was behind things that they did to themselves, but they doing some things like that I can't. We may not be the best run organization, but we run pretty good, bro.
We are. I can't. Like I said, it's with me, boss, and I know it is with you.
Yeah.
We can look at something and say we've been getting on Stephen Jones, right? I call him Baby Nuts Jones. So I've been getting on him. But if he does a good move, that's the difference. See, if you just being a super pessimist, you just hating all the time. But I feel like the things I say are valid with them. And when they're doing good things, I'm definitely saying that too. You feel me? Like, kudos to them with this Randy Gregory thing. And kudos to them for a lot of things, but kudos for them for this Randy Gregory thing because we're about to see a really great Randy Gregory. And you know what? That's possible due to the Joneses because they stuck by him when nobody else probably would have. And maybe he doesn't.
Because of the Joneses.
You feel me? And maybe he doesn't, not just with his football, his life. So they do a lot of things that people don't see. And, I got to give him that. I got to give him that credit too. They do. And I was talking to my boo today, talking about Stephen Jones, and we were just I was talking about how Jerry's a Libra, and that's why you see the loving side because that's how he is. But then I was like, his son's a Gemini. And one thing about Geminis, they be on their money. Like they be on that money. My mother's a Gemini. They be on that money. They be strictly on that. They don't play around with it. And then when I see Stephen how he is with that cap, I get frustrated with him by not maybe going out and getting those one or two pieces, but I also don't be mad because Dallas don't be in no financial trouble no more. That's a thing you don't remember how the Cowboys we always used to worry about that as fans, cap stuff. We used to always, damn, what's up with this cap? Now you don't really have to think about it because he be managing that joker the right way. And I'm gonna keep it real. One free agent signing, I think it was in the chat, boss, that I think is slept on is that damn Brent Urban signing.
Well, man, I say this, Brent, in my opinion, is the key to the whole deal.
If Brent turns up, we gonna be good.
Do a whole show on how everything is dependent on his play and quit.
I think he's gonna do it, boss. I think he's the player. I think he's the player that, because when I listened to his interview. One of the things I was talking about earlier today was we need those role players and they really love their role. They don't worry about getting the high society or worry about anything.
Say that. Preach that.
You know what I'm saying? They don't worry about that. They just want to get down and dirty. And when I listen to Bohanna, he's like, I like double teams. Give it to me so I can keep my guys free. When I listened to Brent Urban, Brent was like, listen, I take pride. I take pride in my run defense. I take pride in that. I take pride in being able to take a double team and be able to help my teammates out. I love doing that. And he said the conversations he had with Dan Quinn were very good and what they were trying to do. And just like you said, boss, I agree with you 100%. Brent Urban is the key because
Key.
it's been a long time. We had a 6'6", 300 guy, and he plays to that. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's been a long time. So we've been having the shorter guys besides David Irvin, you know what I mean, in that middle. Now you got a big boy, and if he can do what we think he can do, boss, and control that running game that we hope that he's been showing, man, yes, it does make this defense so much more effective. Because even when Dallas had, 2014, I think we held teams under 100 yards rushing. I think 2016 they did it as well, but it wasn't because the defense was just so great. It's because the offense was so good. Let's finally get that chunky thing in the middle to stop that stuff and have a really, for real run defense. I think Brent helps that.
Right. See, my boy BJ still going hard on.
He always going hard.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I love good content from guys who bring good stuff in that chat.
They said you low again, boss.
Well, is it me or is it your ears? No, but let me say this. This is, because it's safe to say that this show has coined the term Rod Marinelli Apology Tour.
Yes.
We coined that.
If you hear anybody say that, they got it here.
They got it here, bro. If you hear anybody say that. Now, this is the deal. When we say that, some people don't know what we mean. What we're saying is everything that they're doing is trying to return us back to the days of Rod. I want to add just a little bit to the apology tour because of Urban and Quentin. This is the Rod Marinelli Apology Tour 2.0 because of what they did in that middle. They upgraded the middle. It's a better version than what Rod did. Because Rod middle was full of cheapos. Like these guys are not expensive, but Covington's, Jones, right? It was guys that was like, but Rod coached them hard, demanded 150% out of them. It worked. It really was a true bend don't break. So
yeah.
So it's one of those things to where Urban is an upgrade than anything Rod ever had. Quentin.
Yes.
Rod never drafted a player like Quentin.
Right.
Never.
Right. And that's the backing off too.
5 or 6 years straight.
Yeah.
Straight.
Yeah. Yes.
And we got him. So, yeah. Now, oh man, this chat, boy, the chat. You see, y'all bring content like it's stuff that we talked about before the show. We was gonna talk about something. Did we talk about it yet? About because y'all running the show, man. Like y'all driving the content right now with the questions. But I say this though. Yeah, but the whole defense basically riding on Urban and Quentin. And one thing Marvin always says, who asked the question right here, the key to Rod's defense was the mandatory effort that came when he was on the field. It was the mandatory effort, hands down. That's what made Rod Def work. Marvin always preached this, which I agree. We can have all the X's and O's and schemes and 4-3 under, 4-3 over, 4-3 base, all of that. If that effort is not there, and that's the one thing that you was posting on Twitter on the Rod Marinelli tour that I loved, bro, was how you kept showing me on Twitter and you would tag me. Look, boss, here we go with the Rod Marinelli tour because he preaching what? Effort and physicality. Yep. That's the number one sermon I wanted to hear out of him, bro. And if he can get that out them guys, we straight.
I mean, it's the Rod Marinelli apologist tour. Like you said, if you hear anybody else say that, they got it from here because that's what we've been screaming from A1 day one. Because we were talking about how we don't even feel like they hated Rod. We feel like they like Rod, but it was just kind of like you've been here. It's we like you, but you're a little older now. maybe we're just gonna find somebody. We not gonna fire you. We just not gonna renew you. You get what I'm saying? And now we finding somebody. Listen, when we had Rod, listen to everything they loved about Rod. It's right with Dan Quinn. Fighting after the ball, having fun. We're free. We don't have to think about what we're doing. We're just playing free. We're just allowed to be able to play to our skill set. That's what Rod was letting them do.
Exactly.
Rob was letting him do that, but it was a little maybe more basic because here's the thing. Rob was strictly on that Tampa 2, right? Well, when you're running that Tampa 2, it's contingent on that front. It's contingent on that front. And if you don't have that front, that Tampa 2 is not going to work the way you want it to work. The reason why that Tampa 2 was so damn good, because he had those dogs up front in Chicago and Tampa Bay. That's what made it so good. You can't run that Tampa 2 with Nick Hayden's. You can't run that Tampa 2 with who else did they have in the middle? I can't remember. Or some George Selvies and those. You can't run Tampa 2 and think your Tampa 2 gonna be a dope defense when you got them regular players like that. So that's why it failed, and it was like, okay, the scheme ain't bad, but you not going after players to help your scheme. So let's go ahead and get somebody else that's gonna be able to do that. And I think maybe the Dan Quinn is gonna do it.
Perfect.
I had to give you 2 buttons. I had to give you 2 buttons on that one, bro. Perfect. Hey,
that sounds like a freaking video game. Perfect.
It was. Yeah, that's not all you get. I got you.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I got you, bro. I got you.
That's what I thought. As soon as you said perfect, I said, is that whatchamacallit?
Street Fighter. Yeah, perfect. But see, I gotta hear something perfect. That's why you ain't never heard the button, because I ain't never heard that perfect. So as soon as I heard something that was perfect.
Exactly.
Now, I see what you're doing, Marvin. Let's talk. Marvin finna start a fight between me and my homeboy. See, me and James, we've been smiling, we've been cool, we had no arguments. He drinking, he sitting there sipping. Oh man, see, Marvin, I see what you doing. Look at Marvin. He said,
what'd he say?
Question. What is the size, weight, and speed of Curse and Cox? I know where you going.
Yeah, I already know, because I already had somebody jump on my show the other day, and they were like, we were talking about Donovan Wilson at strong safety, and he said, no, Curse. I said, you was in Boss's feed, weren't you?
Right. Well,
he was like, yep.
He running with the ones, and it's
Curse. He's running with the ones because Donovan Wilson's hurt.
Yeah, and this is not necessarily saying Curse should be start over Donovan.
He's not going to start. He's not going to, and I
think they need to compete.
He's not going to. He's not going to, because he's not going to. I want to see Donovan Wilson win that. Let's have some competition with it, as far as see where you can fit Curse. But no, Donovan Wilson, if that's what y'all want him to be, then let's let him be that, because from what I'm hearing is they want KZ and Donovan. Donovan just need to get healthy. The thing I worry about with him, Boston, I think we've talked about it time and time again, him playing strong safety, is his body type isn't really built for that strong safety. Even though he's a little bit taller, he doesn't have that strong safety type frame. And the injury thing is what looms with me with him.
Dog, you doing it, bro. I cannot add to that. I cannot add to that. I cannot. So it's one of those things to where I want to see that battle. That's at least the battle I want to see, right? And then, but I really know what Marvin is saying.
Why you want Curse out there so bad?
No, hold on, Big.
You want Curse out there so bad.
No, I want to see the competition. Listen, I do. I'm not going to be shy about saying that Curse is a good player. One, he made the Boss Cowboy God twice.
I feel you though, dog, but...
And you know me on that, bro. I don't put everybody in that book. You know what I'm saying? I don't put everybody in my book, bro. Like, I put people on there that I feel like are ideal fits for Dallas. And one of the things about him that I think a lot of people take for granted is when you go to Minnesota and you was drafted to play safety, you are not playing. You're not playing. Harris and Smith. Come on now. The two best safeties in the league. You can be good as hell. You not playing. So you got a guy every now and then that'll just get drafted to the wrong team, and then a narrative gets built like he's not good because he don't start. No, he's not playing because the guys are all pros and yellow jacket guys. You know,
that's true. That's definitely true what you're saying right there.
Yeah,
and so when he went over to Detroit, he got work.
I didn't see the work. I checked his film out, and I might have missed the game. I didn't see that. I've been begging for people to tell me the game where he got worked. Nobody tells me.
No. I'm saying where he got work, like he got ticked, like he actually got, where he actually got action. No, not that he got work.
I got the film.
Yeah,
we can look at it now. He's solid, especially in the box.
He's now in the box. He's very solid, but I don't like him in coverage at all.
Yeah, his coverage. See, and
it's
that's
not good.
And that's where Marvin was going. See, I knew where Marvin was going. That's why he asked Curse versus Cox 40s. You know what I'm saying? It's because the problem right now. The problem right now, Big, and I'm not gonna get too big into this because I know this will get me and you fighting. But sometimes you gotta fight the homies. Have you heard anything about Cox? Nothing.
No, but is that we haven't heard a lot of a few things from a lot of players.
Yeah,
let's keep it real. I haven't heard nothing from no Bradley and I ain't heard nothing about no Carlos Watkins. Yeah, I ain't heard nothing of it.
I know they talked about it now. I got the clip. They did talk about it now. Yes, they did.
I heard the one clip where they saying he was looking explosive coming off the line. I think it's that what they said, but we haven't heard a lot of it.
No, but we haven't heard anything on Cox. And see, this is the thing.
You ain't heard nothing on Curse.
Yeah,
you just heard that he was.
I got you just heard that on Curse. I can play it right now.
You just heard that he was running with the ones. But I wasn't hearing. I ain't heard nothing about no Curse doing anything on the field in these OTAs. You
like
play that
plays.
clip for me. Yeah, play me that clip because I ain't heard none of that.
I mean, I heard he got a pick and took it to the house. Yeah, he took a pick to the crib. Yeah, Curse. But my point on Cox is this.
Yeah, I got you.
Now let me just tell you my point.
Yeah, tell me the point. I want to hear it.
Don't start with me today, man. Don't start with me today, bro.
I want to hear this point. No, because I am feeling you.
But listen, I've been afraid that Cox was going to get buried in that deep linebacker room. You see what I'm saying? And we talked about that when we had that 5-man panel. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I would hate for somebody as talented as Cox to be the gunner, to be on special teams only. Yeah, see, BJ said the same. Curse had a pick six. I'm telling you, man. If you saw a pick six from
against Ben DiNucci.
Oh, you ain't gonna do this today. Oh, see, I done gave you all kind of hand claps and everything, bro. I can't.
Yeah, show me you got to pick against Dak Prescott, not Ben DiNucci. That's fine. That's fine. That is fine. I'll take that one. I'll definitely take that one because if you're saying he got a pick six on Ben DiNucci, if you're saying he got a pick six on, whatever. He got a pick six on Ben DiNucci. I ain't jumping up about that. Sorry.
Man, you getting drunk up in here, bro. Don't do it.
I'm saying. I
knew
mean,
we was going to fight up in this mug, man.
Yeah, pick six on Ben DiNucci. Okay.
You don't care that he a pick six is a pick six, man. See, listen.
No, it ain't. No, it's not. No, it's not. And you know it. Pick sixes aren't all the same. If you're playing against a quarterback who's not that good, No, it's not.
You
so
right.
You know that. I'm
True.
not getting excited
I'm
about
not gonna
that.
force
Just
that.
like with Nashawn
you
Wright.
You see me pull
They're
back.
saying he's making plays. They're saying he's making plays, and I like hearing about that. But you're
Yeah.
making plays on Ben DiNucci and
Yeah.
them, and I ain't hating on them guys.
Yeah.
But tell me you're making them catches. I mean, them plays on Dak Prescott. Then I feel good.
Right. Well, I say this. The point that we started before we got into that little mini debate was crickets on Cox. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things I want everybody to hear my heart. Cox is too damn good of a player to not be open, to be creative, to find ways to get him on the field. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? And I know right now, Cox is a better cover person. My boy Game shaking his head. Cox is a better cover person than Curse right now. Right now.
I agree. Yeah,
You know
I
what I'm
agree
saying?
with that. I totally agree with that.
So if he running it with the ones and he's an inferior cover guy, we can't get creative. It's not gonna happen though. Listen, do you know how I know it's not gonna happen?
That's the thing. I feel what you. I feel what you're saying, dog. But it ain't gonna happen. So that's why I don't.
It's not gonna happen.
Sit there and try
to.
to.
The biggest thing I know it's not gonna happen. His number.
Why?
No safeties worth 48. No.
Well, not just that. I mean, not just that. I just feel like they so enamored with this.
Yeah.
DeMonte Casey, Izzy, Donovan Wilson. You know, feel me? Like they so enamored. I'm saying they're enamored with him playing linebacker and be able to cover. They're like so enamored with it. So it's like they just want to stay with that. I would love to see the creativity in certain spots, but I also look at reality, boss. And that's why when you're like, oh, that could happen. Yeah, that would be nice to be able to look at it, but they ain't doing it. So that's why I don't talk about it. When I actually feel like they'll actually do it, then let's talk about it.
We got to talk.
You can talk about it. You can talk about it all you want, but I don't feel like it's gonna happen. At least not no time soon. It ain't happening.
Well,
and you're right. He may play a lot of special teams this year because you know what? We're talking about Keanu Neal, right? Remember how we talked about last week how they were quiet on LVE and Jalen pretty much, and they were talking about backup Micah and you know, remember with Todd Archer we were talking about this past week where Todd Archer said that Neal and Parsons were running with the ones and they weren't getting a lot of tick on that 7-7s or those drills. And we're like, oh, let's keep an eye on that. He's like, nah, don't keep an eye on it. Don't keep an eye on it because there ain't nothing to be talked about. But we like, yeah, it's something to be talked about. So I get what you're saying with that aspect of it. It's something to be talked about. But would it really happen? I don't think so. At least this year, it's not.
Yeah. It's the Cowboys lost in, bro. Like, I mean, I'm a beat the drum because I just want somebody maybe like Will McClay, somebody that got some power to maybe be bored one day on YouTube, sitting at home scratching their balls. You know what I'm saying? And then sit here Big Game James and be like,
and you ain't even got to give us the credit because we know you won't.
Give a damn about
and
the credit.
You ain't gonna give us the credit.
If you watch it. Take the idea. Don't give us no credit.
Take the idea.
Don't give us none.
Because
just do it.
The biggest thing that you would say something about Cox playing strong safety, or playing the safety position as a whole, was because of you look at his body type. He has a body type that can flex as a safety. You get what I'm saying? His body type. He's a linear linebacker. He's a real linear linebacker. He's a long linear one. And he said he's played that. He's played safety. He talked about I can play on the back end. You can see it. He jumped out in coverage numerous times. So we'll just kind of see how this training camp goes. This is going to be a very important training camp, boss, for a lot of people. So this training camp is going to be real big, and preseason games are going to be really big.
They're going to be big, bro. Oh, you said
preseason games are going to be huge.
Next talk, bro. Man, if you listen, y'all need to start sharing because this next talk we're getting ready to talk about, it's gonna be a good one, bro. Because I'm gonna go. You geared it up. You perfectly laid it up. But before we go to that next topic, I want to address what Wendell said. He said there ain't nothing wrong with Cox playing special teams this season. Some players need a year or two to be a good NFL player. It's nothing wrong with it, unless the people that's in front of him are not as good. That's when it's a problem. You see what I'm saying? So let's say to Big Game James' point that we got to start Kurtz or something happened to Donovan Wilson, but Cox could have been just as good or better, that's when I have a problem with it. But if those guys out there doing their thing, nothing wrong with letting the guy that's a younger guy get experience on special teams, letting him get his beak wet. That's the natural cycle of most players. But I just think he's exceptional. You're right. And when you see somebody that covers as good as he does, it just makes me tempted to get creative. That's all.
And not just that.
Go ahead.
Just before you jump into that, just bouncing off that.
Right.
He was a 4th round pick too, so there ain't the urgency like to push him to.
Right.
They probably could look at that. There's not that urgency because he's a 4th round pick and they got him as a steal, so they could look at, we can season him.
Right. Now, this is a talk I can't wait to have. I'm going to have this talk with you. I'm going to have this same talk also with the OC. I want you to listen to this. Let's talk about this real quick because this is very interesting to me. Check this out, Big.
Dan, yesterday Mike McCarthy was talking about Ben McAdoo helping not only Kellen but you as well. How do you see that going down with Ben being around as a consultant this year?
Well, if I can have just some of the impact that Mike's had on me so far, it would be super valuable for me. So having a guy like Mike who can talk about what the offense is thinking on a certain play or a certain concept, it allows me to look at something from a different perspective, and I've really appreciated that from him. Whether it's in meetings or after practice, hey, have you thought about this? And the quarterback's looking this way. We do some drills at practice that I haven't done before. That's totally designed by him, and that's been a big deal for me defensively to learn some new things. How QB's looking at a different situation. So not just the players are learning, I have too, and so. The fact that Ben's been a part of that system with Mike, can look at it from the offensive side. That's what I hope to get. Basically, I want them to look at us and how they would try to attack. I don't want them involved on the self-scout defensively. I want to say, how would you go after us based on what you've seen? And so that's what I've met with Ben about. And but Mike kind of gives me that on a regular basis. But I'm looking forward to doing that with Ben as we get during the season.
Whoo, I love that, bro. I loved it. Because, when we all first saw Ben, all of us was like, oh, here we go. Friendships and kinships. And, oh, here we go. Mike McCarthy with the good old boys.
You don't think that is a little bit, though?
It is.
That's his friend, so
yeah.
let's not like it's not boss.
No, it is. But it's also good common sense, right? So Mike McCarthy, and this is why I love it. I mean, LOVE, because Dan Quinn said in all the years he's been coaching, he's never had an offensive guy come to him and say, this is how we would attack you. All the years he had to self-scout. That's what he called it, self-scout. And I know that's powerful. You know how I know that's powerful?
That is, you right, boss. You know what? Mm-hmm. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
good.
That you just good. I was listening to what you were saying, and I wasn't understanding. Maybe I'm gonna keep it real. What you just showed me, I wasn't understanding the concept you were trying to bring to me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But then when you just explained it to me in that aspect, yes, that is huge. If an offensive coach is actually, and he's coming to you saying, this is what I would do to that defense. This is the kind of offense I would do to attack that defense. And he's saying that I haven't got a perspective that from an offensive guy. Yes. It's always has to been us trying to figure out what you're doing instead of you guys actually coming over and saying, this is what we would do right here.
Right.
That is huge because it's a added element of preparation for your team to understand what that offense is doing. And if you're understanding what that offense is doing, you got that leg up in as far as how you can attack them. So I agree with you.
And see, I experienced this, bro. And I do agree with you, Marvin, that he's also there because he also mentioned that he's over there to help Kellen Moore. But The thing about it, like when I was playing for the University of Houston, Big Game say I need to talk about that more because people don't know I played.
You should.
Yeah, that I played Division I football. So when I was playing Division I football, we went out to California. We played in the Rose Bowl. We played UCLA. Okay, they put 55 points on us, right? And they walked down the field with ease. I didn't understand how they beat the hell out of us until we got a West Coast defensive coach. And then he explained to us from watching film how they picked us apart. So, like, when we was in cover 3, they used to teach us that in that particular coverage to turn your back to the sideline, right? And cover the deep thirds. But that also signaled to the quarterback what the coverage was.
Right. What the coverage was, he could see it.
So when you got an offensive guy that studies how to beat defenses, then he'll go to Quinn and say, hey, man, why do you have in cover 3 your guys always turning like that? Because that we know what it is.
It's tipping me off.
You tipping us off. That's what Quinn has now. And he say Mike McCarthy been giving him that consistently, and he said he never got that. Can you imagine that?
You don't think other teams do that though?
Man, like at Division I, we didn't. Like most people would think the best coaches are at these higher levels. Sometimes dumb follows dumb, right?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you only as good as the tree you come from. Like if you come from
True.
Belichick, you gonna probably be thinking like that. But if you come from somebody else, no. You know what I mean? So it's just, I love what I heard there. I love the role of Ben. I think it made a ton of sense. It excited me because it excited Quinn. I don't think Dan Quinn was bullshitting. Like when he said, that's never happened. I believe it because this is what I know. This is what I really believe that's true, bro. Because, and you know this, Big, when I tell you this, you're going to say, yeah, you right. Because you know what happens, bro. Whenever offensive and defensive coaches start going at it in practice, they become the enemy. Even on the same team. Like, our coaches used to not like our offensive coaches and used to come in there and say that. So, like, we would be getting ready for the spring game.
I know. Yes.
You feel me? That would happen.
I mean, I remember coaching in even when we did youth football.
You don't
we
like
didn't
them.
like the we didn't like the offensive coaches. Like it was personal in practice. Like it was personal. It was personal. It was real personal.
That type of schism, right? That type of division would keep y'all from helping each other scheme wise. That's straight up. Like one of my
that is true. Because you're gonna protect you. Like I ain't showing them nothing because I don't want y'all to get the edge on it. Because we was like that in practice. We wouldn't show us anything because we didn't want you to get the edge.
See, and Marvin is Marvin was a head coach. This is what he said. Facts. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that coach have experienced that. So I think that's how you can go 10 years, 12 years coaching and never get help from your offense. Like straight up.
Yes.
Like I remember one time we was going into a spring game, bro, and our coaches came in there and they said we made an agreement that we was not going to scheme. They was running schemes at us, so we go draw up some defensive schemes to counter it. They were mad. We was like, let's go, draw it up. Let's go, let's get after them. That's how. These are our teammates.
Right. Yep.
Let's get after them.
we was like that. I mean, it was like that when I would coach with my guys. It was when you bring that up, it was personal. Like I remember our practices would be heated. Like it would be like I mean, I would be in the huddle talking to the kids. I'm like, hey man, you better never let them catch that pass on you again.
Right, to your own team. To your own team, bro. Like people gotta
like I'm leaving the practice field like I'm mad,
bruh. It's very fairy tale what people believe about locker rooms. They think everybody are brothers. No.
Yeah. No. There's a lot of hate going on.
It's a lot of anger and fights and
hate. Clickish, all that stuff.
See, now listen, we got a coach in that house. We got a former head coach. Now, y'all check this out. Coaches meeting can be war sometimes. Say, that's a former head coach talking right there. So that's why that clip interested me, Because I'm gonna be honest, bro. I'm not only drinking Dan Quinn Kool-Aid, I'm sipping Mike McCarthy Kool-Aid some too, bro. I'm starting to really grab that juice, man, and I'm starting to drink his too. Because Mike McCarthy, I'm just liking the moves. I'm liking the common sense. I like bringing in Ben to kind of steady out Kellen. I like bringing in Ben to be the devil's advocate to Dan Quinn. That BJ gone on, bro. I'm not doing it with you, bro.
What?
He told me don't do it. He telling me not to drink that Kool-Aid. He telling me, nah,
What, Mike McCarthy?
yeah, I'm sipping it though.
I'm
bro.
not drinking that Kool-Aid.
You
Like
don't
I was pushing the higher, and I'm still cool. But
Yeah.
to me, this is hot fish grease year. This is hot fish grease year for Mike McCarthy. I said he was going to be hot fish grease for him when he first came in here. It wasn't going to be no luxury tour. You ain't getting no 5 years. You better get together in 2. And this year is hot fish grease. And if he ain't showing no improvement with a full, healthy Dak Prescott and your team is relatively healthy, you don't make playoffs, something like that. With that one movie, it's gotta go.
And see, and this is what I'm expecting too, Big. I'm expecting training camp to be epic.
Oh,
This came from my
training
boy
camp gonna be
Buddha.
lit.
Me and my boy Buddha had a
Training camp
conversation.
gonna be lit.
It's gonna be lit because of these
It's gonna be
two
super lit.
former head coaches. Yeah, they friends right now.
You see that? You see that picture right there? Dan
Yeah.
beat him.
Yes. And see,
Somebody mentioned that in the chat too.
man, when them boys get together, ooh-wee. When them pads come on, both of the competition go come out of both of these guys. This is a training camp big. I can't miss either. Like, I know we talked about I might have to stay here to kind of, you know what I mean?
Get your ass to Cali because we already good.
Boy.
We gone.
Bro,
We already
because it's
good.
going to be
Get
some
your ass
action
Cali.
out there.
It's gonna, dog, I'm trying to tell you, listen. If I look at the last, we went 2018, 2019. We didn't go 2020 because of the COVID, right?
Mhm.
But just from my experience, from seeing the training camp so far, you had Jason Garrett there and Rob Marinelli, right?
Mhm.
This is going to be different. This is a black and mild, boss, just so you know. This is a black and mild. Okay?
Oh, no. You cool, bro. Yeah.
just
Everybody
you know,
sponsors
sponsors. This is a black and mild.
Blacky
Black and
Mouth
mild.
legal
Black and mild.
substance.
Legal.
Thank you.
We good. Black and
We
mild. Just want to. Okay. But when I went to those camps, you had Jason Garrett and Rob Marinelli. You feel me?
Yes.
And let's even talk about last year. Mike Nolan against, he was a former head coach, but it ain't the same.
Yeah, weak ass head
Mike
coach.
McCarthy, you feel me? He was
Yes.
weak. You know what I'm saying? So when we see a grunt, I mean, we seeing 2 grunts right here. Them is 2 grunts. Let's just keep
Yes.
it real. You got 2 grunts
Yes.
out there,
Yes.
and when grunts get at it,
Yes.
grunts talk trash.
Yes.
Grunts say, "Oh, you thought you got that? Okay, watch this play. What we about to do right here." And then once Dan Quinn gets a big sack, and he's like, "I told you. I said no yards over here today. I said no yards over here today. They ain't get no plays today." That's what's going to happen here at camp, I believe, and that's why I'm excited because
Yes.
it wasn't like that with Garrett. It wasn't like that with Garrett. Marinelli would get into it,
Nah.
but you know, Rod would kind of chill because Garrett was kind of chill. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nah, these
But
are
if the
fiery
energy
guys.
from both of
Yes.
these guys, I feel like gonna be fiery, and
Yes.
plus Dan Quinn he wants to come in there and say, guess what? I don't care what this offense you got. We about to shut you down.
Man, yes, indeed. Yeah, man. Say, listen, yeah, like the Buddha.
Yeah, you gonna have to get the
camp.
camp.
He
get the
he
camp.
said that about 3 shows ago, but I flagged it. I was like, damn, that's a good point. It made me build a slide. I'm like, let me
Dog, because think about
Shit.
it. This camp is going to be excited because Dan Quinn is going to be there because Dan Quinn is an energetic type coach.
Yes.
He is a guy that's going to bring that energy. He's going to
Yes.
bring the energy there.
Yes.
And when he brings that energy, it's going to make everybody else come with that energy. You know how Dak is going to be back, hella competitive. Come
Yes.
on, man. This is the exciting that I think this is the most exciting time for me right now is hurrying up and getting to camp so we can see these battles. We can see these rookies. We can see these gonna be a real camp, boss. This is gonna be a real camp, boss.
Camps.
This gonna be a camp.
And see, my boy Buddha, he was in the house. I guess he was trying to listen to see if I was gonna give you the credit. Yeah, I'm gonna give you the credit, Buddha. The thought came from you. Now let me listen, bro. Let me tell you something.
I had that thought too, though, Buddha. Yeah, so I didn't copy.
No,
I've
no
been
problem.
saying it
He
too,
said
Buddha.
thanks
So
for the
I
shout
didn't
out.
copy
Nah, you deserved it too, bro. That's why I say, man, we get content. Look, listen, none of us come up with content on our own. None of us. Like, a lot of it come from good conversations that we have with others.
I like Buddha. Buddha
Yeah,
funny.
he
I like
got a
Buddha.
good football mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he does.
Like, he think outside the box, and, you know, he brought us some
Yep.
stuff about Nashawn Wright and Boss that was good, but we might talk about that later, or we'll say that.
Uh-huh.
But you know, because sometimes people, you know, want credit. Like, Big Game James, I listen to him. I hear him say all the time, my boy Boss said that. But he ain't got to say nothing else. He'll just say, that's it. He ain't got to do a whole soliloquy about me. He'll just say, my boy
Right.
Boss. So we all try to make it a practice to give credit when it's due.
Hell yeah.
I mean-
I know I'm always do that.
I
'cause
mean,
don't-
always. Shit, Big B, I see your post. Like,
I go out of the way to
You
make sure
sure
they get the
do.
credit because
You do.
I don't want them coming back like I ain't copying off none of y'all. I'ma definitely give you the credit because why I want to take credit for something you said.
Yeah,
I'm
and
gonna just
then-
bounce off of you.
and I'm gonna just bounce off of that, so you don't got to steal from people. Like, you can just
Hell
bounce
no,
off
just
good
bounce off it.
ideas. Just bounce.
Just
Like,
bounce
it's-
off it.
It's a
Yep.
good idea.
And
Same thing
give the
happened with
credit.
my boy Matt Owens, man. Fire ass thought.
I like
of
Matt. I love
4-3.
Matt.
Man, Matt the shit. Like,
I love Matt.
Yeah, y'all look out for Matt. That's a future
Yeah,
cool
Matt.
Cowboy mind.
Keep up on Matt.
Keep up on him, bro.
Known Matt for a while.
Yeah, he's
that's good.
solid as hell. Like, and
Solid,
it's
very solid.
mind. And like, we don't big up guys that don't deserve it, you know. But it's one of those things.
Nah.
Where, you know, we just want to kind of explain that because that's, you know, in the podcast community, we got to kind of know how that works. It's like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's like me and my boy West Coast was talking one time, and he said, "Bro, nah, I promise I was gonna keep it a secret, but I say this." I do get content for talking to everybody, bro. If you talk to me on the phone or Facebook or anything and it makes sense, I'm gonna bounce it.
Yeah, I mean, I will bounce it too. If you said something to me and I'm like, yeah, that's
It
dope,
makes
but I
sense.
will definitely say on the show, I was
That-
just
I
talking
got
to
that
blah,
from
blah,
you.
blah today.
Yeah.
And he mentioned this and
Yeah.
I was feeling it. That's
Right.
exactly how I'll say it. Like,
Yeah.
I saw
Right.
this today from blah, 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 and he was
Yeah.
killing it. So guess what? I'm seeing that. Yeah, definitely. For
Right.
sure.
Yeah. So it's one of them things where, man, I'm excited about this training camp, bro. I mean,
Let me ask you
when
something.
Buddha said that, I was like, hell yeah, it's gonna be a show. Go ahead, bro. What you got?
I want to ask you about these this roster. Do you got any people that you would see that might be a surprise cut for you?
I like what you said. I heard your surprise cuts. They made sense, logical as hell. I haven't really started kind of breaking down the roster potentials like that yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm on the content thing. The content thing I'm on right now is kind of like by position, also knowing my enemy, all that kind of stuff. Looking at my
Right.
division.
Bless you.
I might start talking roster talk and cuts after they start practicing. I don't even want to do
See,
that right now.
I didn't want to do that, but it was like, you know what? I'm gonna just jump out there in my head and just say from afar what I would just do.
And it's
You
no
get what
wrong
I'm
with
saying?
that. Yeah.
Because you can't guess none of that until they actually put on pads. You feel
Right.
me? Because
you
I
said
did
Armstrong, and then you
Darren
said
Armstrong Jr., Carlos Watkins,
Carlos made sense, bro.
and then I said Tristan Hill's a fringe.
Yeah, and that'll be wild. And I think you got to keep Tristan. Just me.
I think you got to keep Tristan too. I know they got hella depth, but I think one more year of Tristan, you need one more year of that
Yeah, let that knee
because you need Hill. I think you need Hill this
You
year.
do, man, and and he was starting to come on. You know what I mean? So it was like
And injury, we all understand. Injuries play a big part in this, boss. And those guys that are coming in are rookies. Osa, Chauncey, Bohana, those are rookies, and that's a lot to put on some rookies. You feel me? For them to just think they're gonna come right in. My homegirl, Star Game Beauty, even she was talking. It made sense to me when she was talking about. I know everybody's talking about Trevin Diggs, but this is year 2. We still need to see more. It wasn't like he destroyed it his rookie year. We saw him come on, and I still love some Trevin Diggs. Like, it was my pick last year. But she was right. We still need to see more. We're hoping there's a trajectory for him. We're hoping that he's going to be taking that next step, but we don't know. There's a lot of unknowns in that secondary, dog. You feel me? Like, I think somebody in the chat said, was Nahshon Wright going to start over Kelvin Joseph? I mean, we're going to find all that out.
Yeah,
you feel me?
That's why I showed April Showers coming, because now the chat is starting to go into that competition between Nahshon and Boss. So I'm going to read April Showers, and then maybe we can talk about that. He said, wonder how Boss Man Fat will handle the competition, or does he think it's automatic for him? He might not handle it well. I think Boss Man know that you got to get that position. I really do.
Yeah, I do too.
Because if they would have just gave him the starting job, then I could see him having that type of thought. But they didn't. They making him have to beat out Anthony Brown.
And I think Boss Man Fat, just from what I've seen from afar, I think he is a very competitive kid, and I don't think he wants somebody just taking his spot. I think he'll take that kind of personal. I don't think he will sit there and sulk or anything like that, because I feel like he's like, nah, I don't care who Nahshon Wright is or this and that. I'm Boss Man Fat. Y'all drafted me in the second round. This is my spot. I feel like Boss would be like that. And you know what? You want your guys to be competitive. You want a Nahshon Wright saying, no, boss man, this is my spot. You want a boss man saying, no, sorry, this is my spot. They drafted me second round. Y'all can still be boys, but that competitive is what makes you better. We want that competition. Right. They should not run away from it. That's going to make both of them better.
Right. I mean, I'm all the way with that, bro. Like, and then, I'm stealing all of Buller's thoughts, but he raised a hell of a point when we talked football the other day. We talked about it 3-4 days ago. He said this, and I said we was going to probably talk about this. Which is true, though. You going to feel me when I say this? Owuzie was drafted second round. Jordan Lewis, third round. Who had the better rookie year? Jordan Lewis. Who's the better player out the two? Jordan Lewis. You know what I'm saying? But definitely the better rookie year. We might debate who was better in the last 4 years, but we ain't debating about who had the better rookie year. So, to your point, Big, and I agree with you 1,000%, competition, baby. Competition. And I like how Wright coming in here like, man, say, look here. And I had to go back. I want to show you something, Big, if you don't mind. I want to show you something.
Go ahead.
Because I looked up my write-up on Nahshon, right? Because you're like, damn, did I miss? Right? But actually, I think I hit him dead on. I'm going to show you my write-up on Nahshon, and then, we can talk about that real quick. Here it is. Watch this, bro. This go trip you out. So, I did the write-up on Nahshon during that draft period, and this is what it says. Okay? Game speed appears average to slow. Nahshon plays stiff and off-balance in press coverage. Attacking the football is his plus and his confidence. Now, what we seeing clearly right now is the B part. The A part is what I saw from his film. That's in the Boss Cowboy Guide. So I'm on record. I can't erase it. The book is bought. But if they coach that first part out of him and we left with the B part of him, man, say, boy, boss man, it's gonna be a fight. And I love it.
I think he's athletic enough. Like I said, he's got a basketball build. For real, I feel like he like me. He built like Slim Fit. You know what I mean? If he's 6'4" and he's like 185 pounds, if you shorten him out, and he'd probably be me out there on that field. Right. But you know what? He has that basketball type of build where he's like long and kind of wiry. So I don't think he's like super stiff. I feel like he's like a 4-4 guy, but sometimes it don't look like it when he's playing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't look
Right.
like he's a 4-4 guy when you watch him. He's like
and
he's
it could have
4-4.
tricked
It don't
my
look
eyes. Right. It
right.
really could.
But you know what I'm saying? But when I
Yeah.
seen him though against some fast receivers, they ain't killing him though.
Right.
You know, like they're not lighting him up. So the biggest thing I love about Nahshon Wright that I've seen about him is it seems like he's a guy that wants to get better at his craft. It looks like he's a guy that not just when he plays, he's going to go home and study. He's going to be in the tape. He's going to try to get better. He's going to study the opponent. What do I need to look at Amari? He got me today, but what I'm going to do? I'm not saying that about anybody else, but this is what I get off from Wright. And that's what gets me excited about watching him, play against the Michael Gallups and the CeeDee Lambs, because I want to see how he really competes against those guys. You feel me?
Yeah.
That's what I really want to see. Can he compete with those guys?
And competing is, I think, exactly right what you're saying. You want to see competition. You want to see them, because we all know, bro, Cooper and them go cook him. But
right
as they cooking you, are you still that fish that's trying to stay alive in that grease? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That it's cooking you, but are you
Yeah.
fighting? Like, we remember Alexander, how he was playing on Cooper from Louisville, right? Remember the corner?
Mm-hmm.
Cooper cooked the hell out of him. But Alexander, if I'm getting his name right, the corner, right? Number 23.
Jair?
Yeah, I think that's his. Yeah, came from Louisville. He was one of my top sleepers, too. I had him as my number one.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
From Louisville.
Out of the
that
came
played
out
for
of
Green
draft?
Bay.
Oh, yeah,
2 years
Jair
ago.
Alexander.
Yeah, Jair.
Yeah, Jair.
Alexander. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
my number one corner. But Cooper was cooking him. But remember that game? He kept fighting. He kept fighting. And he made plays. That interception where Cooper dropped and that turned the game and it pretty much ended it. That was because Diggs was like that. Diggs was cooked by Metcalf. But he kept fighting. He was that fish in that grease that kept fighting. You know what I'm saying? So when I don't want y'all to misinterpret what Big Game James is saying when he say I want to see him compete. That does not mean he think that he go do something on Cooper. He's saying I want to see the heart and the dog and the tenacity of a real corner. That's what he's saying.
Because a real corner is going to say, okay, I got beat, but I guarantee you, do it again.
Right.
Do it again. That's
Right.
I mean, that's what we was loving about Jordan Lewis when we saw him against Dez. When that trash talk was going back and forth. Jordan Lewis was like, I don't care if you some Dez Bryant.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yes.
You feel me?
Yes.
And that's why we was loving Jordan Lewis, because he wasn't
Dez
backing
loved
down
him.
from. Yeah, we was like, we don't care, and that's what we all loved about Jordan. I still love that about Jordan. I think Jordan still has that mentality, like, I don't care who you are, I'm gonna still bang with you. You know what I'm saying? Jordan is like that. So if we can get the boss man Fat and the Nahshon Wright to be banging like that, it's only going to be a great thing for this secondary, because it's a huge question marks in that back end, especially on that cornerback position. It's a lot of guys with unknowns, man.
Yeah, bro. Yes, indeed, man. So, this camp is gonna be epic, and we got a whole.
Get your butt down there.
Yeah, I got to, bro. I got to. I got to get out there when they hitting though. I don't want to get in there for the fluff.
That's when you need to come down there when I'm down there. Then
yeah, like
when we talked about it.
Yeah,
the end of month July, because that last month of July is when they're going to have the blue and white scrimmage, I believe, because that last week then they hit their first preseason game with Pittsburgh. So that's all going to be a full week of hitting, the one-on-ones, the team battles, all that good stuff. So that's why I'm going when the hitting. I ain't going that early stuff when they just moving around. Ain't nobody doing all that stuff. Ain't nobody doing nothing. Ain't nobody. Nope.
I want to see the
I'm
fights.
there for. I want drills, fighting, go at it.
I want to see the, all of that, because I think it's gonna be epic this year.
It is. It's gonna be one of the better camps they've had in a while, in my opinion.
So, final word.
My final word is this. I My final word is training camp, man. This is one of the more exciting training camps for me to go to. I just feel like it's a different feel. It's a different vibe. Dan Quinn, to me, has really brought that. And I'm really want to see these battles with this offense and defense. I want to see the spirit of what's going to be. I want to see the competition that it's going to be. And I mean, I just really want to see training camp. That's my final word. I'm ready for training camp. I'm really excited about this one.
My final word is stay with the final word.
Yeah, that's
because
good too.
And I mean this, bro, because a lot of people, football year round. There's a lot of football to get caught up on. You know, we did the draft. We did the mini camp and the OTAs. This is the season where we're going to slow it down and digest it. So if you really, really, really want to be up and prepared for the season, stay tuned in. Keep your notifications on. Make sure you liking and subscribing. Because we touched the surface right now, but we got a lot of football we gonna talk about. A lot. We just talked about corners, but we never talked about the receivers. We never talked about the quarterback. We never talked about the offensive line. We only talked about the head coaches. We didn't talk about the sub coaches. It's months and months of material that's gonna fly by if y'all stay with the final word. And the final word is also getting ready to add the other two members of that super team, bro. So the
Fantastic Four.
The Fantastic Four is getting ready to jump on this mother. You know what I mean? We getting ready to see
the four horsemen up in this. You know what I'm saying,
bro? You getting ready to see the law of this nation. You getting ready to see the OC, and that when that energy come together, and obviously we gonna be booking guests and all of that. But it's not about guests. It's about us. Like for real. Like obviously we cool with the guests and we appreciate the guests. But man, y'all come to hear us, man. You know what I mean? And we gonna bring that to you. We got some people coming up this week potentially, you know what I'm saying? And I got some contacts and everybody working their Rolodex. But it's gonna be about combining this whole super group of the best podcasters, and we gonna be bringing this to you consistently starting Tuesday. So Tuesday you go see the edition of King Law. You go also see the President OC, and it's truly going down. That's my final word, and I promise you it's gonna be worth it. Promise you.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be worth it, and it's gonna be so great is because I'm off Tuesday too.
Oh, my boy gonna be rested.
Oh, he gonna be rested, folks. He gonna be rested. I'll be texting boss at 7 in the morning. Like, you ready for tonight?
And he'll do that.
Boss know when I'm ready. When I text you early in the morning.
God, 7, and I respond at 7 too. Yep.
Boss know that. Boss know when I'm ready. When he get that early morning text. When he get that early morning text, I'll be like, "What's good, dog?" He be like, "Hey, I'm on it. Let's go." I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
He already know he get them early morning texts. I ain't playing around.
Yeah, and I mean this. I love doing shows with my vets. With the vets, I love it. See, because Big Game James so low maintenance, man. Low maintenance, bro, all the way. Like, I don't ever talk to Big Game James. It's a show day. Or we talk on the internet. Like, we both
talk here and there.
Understand. We both got channels. We both rocking. So he not, hey, I ain't heard from boss. We ain't never on that type of stuff.
Nah,
but we know we cool.
Why ain't boss talk to me this week?
Oh, hell nah. It ain't never like that. But
it will never be like that either.
Nah. And that's why I really love the vets, man, because it's like we all understand. See, just one true last word.
The final word.
The final word. I saw Vach film, right, on Michael Parsons, and it was 10 minutes. And I saw all that combining film that looked totally identical to White. And because I was a seasoned podcaster, I said, bro, this is a 10-minute video that took, I guarantee, 8 hours.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
All that cutting, the cutting and editing and all.
Editing, matching.
Bruh, they don't understand that.
Yeah,
I'm not saying to everybody, but y'all, bruh.
Yeah,
You already know, boss.
work.
When you doing one video and cutting a drop video, that joker takes forever. It almost sometimes you be sitting there like, I don't want to do this video.
Yes, fuck this video.
I'm good. I'm not doing this video today.
Yeah,
because you got to sit down and be like, oh Lord, I can't have nothing bothering me. There can't be nothing the way I got to be clear minded because I got to put all this together because this is work. And then when you done, you know what it's almost like, boss?
What's that?
You know how when you cooking breakfast or cooking for somebody and you put your heart into it, like you cook it, you cook, super cook. After you get done cooking, you like, I ain't hungry.
Ooh, I want to slap you.
I don't want to eat. I'm tired.
Hey, and so let me tell you something. The first time, and you know, I got into this podcast. Let me fighter word for real.
The final word.
Fighter word. I got into the podcast business because I was critiquing Okoye, right? And I was not agreeing with something he said. And West Coast jumped in the chat on the same thing me and you talked about. And he said this to me, bro, straight up. He said, I get so sick of people that don't do no film complaining about film. And I said, bro, I did some breakdowns. Basically, I ain't gonna tell the whole story, but that's what started it, a fight.
Yeah.
Of me.
I remember you. I remember. If you want to keep it all the way real.
Yeah.
I remember when you and Okoye, because it was in that Dallas War Room group.
Yes.
And y'all two went at it for like.
Yeah, we went at it.
Man, it was a whole. I read the whole thing. Y'all went like 10 minutes. 10, 15 minutes against each other, and they were deep, folks. This wasn't no one word stuff. They were answering each other back in long, detailed sentences. It made me really get my popcorn and like, ooh, let me see what he about to say next. Okay, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. That was a good point, though. That is true on that one, though. I don't know about that one. Oh, yeah, make some tape then. That's
make some tape. And you know, and people don't know when they see us fight on Twitter or they see us disagree, they think we disagree like they disagree.
They think it's beef.
It's no beef. It's
just difference of opinion.
That's all.
Well, yeah, it is.
Some people.
Let's keep it real.
Yeah, let's keep it real. But like when I'm banging with Skywalker or I'm banging with Jew Big or banging.
Yeah, that's never beef.
Nah, it ain't no beef. It's
but yeah, there is beefs out there though.
Oh, it's beefs. Like, so, I got tried the other day. Like, bro, you serious? You really trying me right now? Boy, I would dunk you. But it's all right.
He said slam dunk.
Yeah, I mean, you know, stop.
Two hand.
Like, come on, bro. Like, but I talked it out with this individual, and we all good, too. So, anyway. Yeah, man, that was the last word, man. Grown man. But, you know, obviously, I was excited to do this show because every time me and Big come together, it's magic. And that's why I can't wait for Tuesday because it's going to be even worse.
Tuesday is going to be dope. I'm excited for that as well, boss. I am very excited because we can all
of Law and the OC when we together, bro. Like when we sat down at that Waffle House and we did that show at Mike Fisher's bar, bro, people thought that we planned that. No, we didn't.
Yeah, that was strictly like not playing on the fly. Let's do this.
Nah.
But yeah, I'm very excited about Tuesday because I haven't talked to my dog Law in a while. You know what I'm saying? And OC was last time I went live with him was when we went when it was like a couple months ago. So I'm excited to kick it with them. And it's like we haven't got to talk all together Cowboys football. Right. So that's why to me it's going to be a great first show because we haven't been able to talk with each other all about Cowboy stuff. So we're all going to be fresh and tapping each other's minds about what we may just already talked about or the Dan Quinn thing. So it's going to be exciting. So folks, please, just like Boss is saying on the final word.
Ain't that so?
You know what I'm saying? Please just go ahead and really support this. This is going to be really good once again for the community. We're going to be out there. And just like he said, it ain't got to be all about guests, but we'll still be out there in training camp. We'll still be at games. You get what I'm saying? So you're still going to get that closeness coverage that you're gonna want because we want it. So we ain't gonna come with the weak stuff because we want it ourselves. So we ain't gonna be shortchanging y'all. You feel me? We gonna go hard in the paint. So really support this, get out there and support all our channels when we do it, and let's just make this thing great.
Sadiq was said, you, BJ, Skywalker Church, OC, Keystone and Law, and BJ would be an awesome show. It's gonna all happen in time. See, the thing
in
is,
time.
just keep
Everybody's busy though.
Yeah, it's like we've been talking about doing this for months. We finally got around to it.
This
I've
took
been
a long
talking
time.
about doing a show with Keystone since the draft, and we finally got around to it. So, you know, when you get like guys that come together with their own channels, you got to juggle a lot. You know what I mean? And, you know, so, but it's gonna happen. Like the last time we did the 5 show, we gonna do that again. And then Marvin asked what time? 8 o'clock. We gonna do it at 8. We changing it to 8 o'clock. You know what I mean? So
yeah, so it'll be
Central.
9. It'll be 9 Eastern, 8 Central.
Right. Yeah.
And then it'll be 5 Pacific. So that's just so you know what's going on.
Right. But yeah,
That beat is rocking.
But
that beat is rocking.
That
I love
super
that beat.
show is coming for sure. Like, cause we've already did it, but we gonna do it again. It's just a matter about everybody getting coordinated, and the stars go align. Cause all of us are cool as hell. Skywalker cool.
Yep.
BG. I got a show with Skywalker Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? So
That's dope.
so it's, you know, and I got another show with Bishop Thursday. You know what I'm saying? I haven't done a show with Vach in a while, but I'm pretty sure we gonna get around to it. It aligns when it's time. That's how it works. You know what I mean? So, so anyway, man, truly the final word that time, my brother.
The final word.
Final word. I turned down the music and I'm hitting the
Yeah, that's why I know it's the final word. When they turn the lights on, the music go off in the club.
Same.
That's when they like, hey, I said last call.
Right.
You know, hey, boss, you know when that light come on and that music go off,
Say
it's time to go.
You finna get kicked out, or they gonna call
You
the
getting
laws
kicked
on you.
out. The law's gonna get you.
So I hit that button on your ass too. Hey man, I'm out for real, boy. Get out of here, cause you know if we do this late night, we gonna keep doing it.